Hi, this is Corey, and here's another Synchro training video. In this video we're going to talk about calendars, specifically 4 things. 1. How to create a calendar. 2. How to apply the calendars. 3. How do calendars affect scheduling. And 4. Why should you not edit a day type on a calendar. So, let us begin. The first, we handle our calendars in the navigator section of our schedule. If you don't have your navigator showing, go up to Windows and hit the navigator, or some of the other ways that I talk about in other videos. And the calendar section is down here, the little calendar icon. So if you click on that, the calendars function very similar to other types of items in the navigator. I click on the object I want to modify at the top, then I scroll down to get options about that item. So to add a new calendar, I right click and it gets organized by an alphabetical order. So I'm going to say training, holidays. You can see that Synchro has a nested calendar structure. So the way I do this is to put all the holidays at the lowest level, and then I have parent calendar or child calendars underneath that, so that I can apply a 4th of July holiday at one calendar, and then all the calendars are going to accept that moving down. So the way I first do this is to make sure I have this new calendar highlighted, and I come down to the bottom, and I can see that Monday through Friday are normal days, and currently my Saturday and Sunday are listed as non-working days. But I want to make them normal working days so I can go back and then only gray out the holidays. So first I make each of these normal working days, and then we can go to our first holiday, which would be Thanksgiving. And assuming we want to take off the entire weekend, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we would right click and say make those a non-working day. Next might be Christmas. So since Christmas is happening on a Tuesday, there's a very good chance that most projects are going to be shutting down the 22nd through the 25th. So we'd make that a non-working day. Again, we can go to the next month by clicking on the single arrow at the top here. We can left click at the month name and drag down, or I can simply click on the next month in the calendar view. So I can make July 4th January 1st a non-working day. And now I'm going to get to July. So I can't see July on the screen right now, but if I left click on the calendar name and drag down, hold my left mouse button and I'm dragging down, I can get to July. So July 4th. This is how all calendar controls work in Synchro. So we right click, we make this a non-working day, just the selected date, and then that would be our project holidays. So now what we would need to do is add calendars underneath that initial master calendar. So I right click on the calendar, not out in white space, and I say add. And I can say our training 5 by 8. And while I'm at this, I can also add a training 6 by 8 as well. So I can click on my 5 by 8 and come down and see, hey, it's already listed as default. Synchro assumes a 5-day work week, but it also inherits these holidays from our parent calendar. And we actually can't overwrite them as parent tasks. So if you had a subcontractor that was really behind schedule and they needed to work on a holiday, that would need to be its own separate schedule apart from the project. So one common mistake that people get is if they click out here in white space and don't have anything selected, then when you go down here, you can't select anything. So you need to make sure that you have something selected up top, and then come back down to the bottom. So since this is my 6 by 8 calendar, I'm going to say Saturday is actually a normal working day every Saturday. And then I also keep one calendar as a calendar duration. There's many activities that we assign just a calendar duration to. For instance, you need maybe a 24-hour cure time, or a 30-day cure time in order for the moisture to come out of the slab. Those don't need to take weekends or holidays, and it's more accurate to define those by a calendar day duration. So now we're ready to start applying those calendars. And first off, the way to not do that is to highlight activities and then change this drop-down list. This is not the right way to go about doing it. We'll notice that currently it's listed as 5 by 8. If I was to switch this to a calendar duration, what changes is all of the tasks below that I haven't added yet. That's because this is really your default calendar drop-down list, and I don't use it all that often, to be perfectly honest. I usually use my selectors here. So in this schedule, we'll notice in Synchro that if we zoom in, we can actually see the non-working days on these. So if I wanted to assign my calendar, let me go ahead and filtered. Here I can apply this calendar, and we can see that if we zoom in on our time scale using the mouse wheel, we see 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. These are the weekdays, and then there is the weekend that comes up. Now, if I was to assign an individual task, say pure caps, as a 6 by 8 calendar, I could right click here and say assign to that selected task. We can see that it looks different than the rest of the tasks above it. We can also check over in the task properties and see that indeed it is assigned to the 6 by 8 calendar. If I wanted to put it back on a 5 by 8 calendar, I can change it over here in this list. So what we can also do is change this for multiple tasks. If we were in a situation where we could have our pure driller drilling 6 days a week, then we could select them all, and then if you just drag this calendar on top, we can see that indeed it changes the calendar here. So it actually does change the way the schedule functions if you change the calendar. We can see that after I changed the pure driller to a 6-day calendar, we can know intuitively that the schedule is going to decrease in duration. Because the way Synchro works is that it says, I need 5 working days to complete this operation. So if now Saturday is a working day, I can complete that activity sooner, and we're going to see that the end duration of 11:30 is going to be decreased to 11:27. Again, if we were to change this calendars back to a 5 by 8, found out that we couldn't work on weekends, then we say reschedule, this is going to pop back out to the 30th. So that's how it works for tasks. Now, if you were to change a topic header, its calendar, the way that works is it's going to show the number of working days in that particular calendar based on the earliest child start date and the latest child finish date. That's where these dates get derived from in the topic headers. So what this is currently telling me, if I click on this demo schedule area A, and this is from another training, just to keep it consistent. If we click on area A, we can see that this calendar is currently on a 5 by 8. What that's telling me is that between the 10:31, which is the earliest date of layout piers, to 11:14, which is the latest finish of grade beams, there are 11 working days. If I now wanted to change this to calendar days, that's going to say that there's 14 days on this activity. And now that is because there's more working days in between those two dates, or more calendar days than there are working days. So typically we like to keep this all as our working day calendar. The last thing I wanted to talk about was editing the day type. A lot of times people click on the calendar of a 5 by 8 and then they want to right click and edit the day type and then change the work hours or add a different day for a half day on a Saturday, and really you're opening yourself up to a world of complicated scheduling. if you go and try to put your schedule in some hybrid method of hours and days. I really suggest that you leave it as a baseline 8-hour day, just a generic time block of either 9 in the morning till 5 at night or 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. It's just going to make your life much easier. And this video is already getting pretty long, so I don't want to talk about it in this video. So if you do have questions, please feel free to contact me, and good luck.